morning, students. So we were doing the chapter wastewater treatment, where we were studying the process how the wastewater is treated, right? So the first step that we studied was wastewater is allowed to pass through bar screens, okay, where large objects like rags or sticks or cans, napkins, they get separated out from the wastewater. So after the bar screens, the next step is the grit and sand removal tank, right, where the water is slowed down and the sand and grit, they slowly settle down at the bottom, okay. So after the grit and sand removal tank, the water was allowed to flow through a tank which is sloped at the middle. So here what happens, the feces they settle down, okay, and these feces were removed with a scraper, okay, and this feces is known as the sludge after it is dried, and oil and grease, they were removed with the help of a skimmer, okay. Now this is the water clarifier, okay, basically. So where the feces, they settle down, and oil and grease, they are removed from the top, and the feces, they are removed with the help of a scraper where it is dried and it is called the sludge, okay. Now after the water is clarified, that means after the third step, air is pumped into the clarified water to help aerobic bacteria to grow. Bacteria consume the human waste, food waste, soaps and other unwanted matter still remaining in the clarified water. After several hours, the suspended microbes settle at the bottom of the tank as activated sludge. The water is then removed from the top. So now what happens? Air is pumped into the clarified water. So once the air is pumped, what will happen? This will allow the aerobic bacteria to grow. Aerobic bacteria means, you know, the bacteria that grows in the presence of oxygen, okay. So once the air is pumped or the oxygen is pumped, then aerobic bacteria will grow. Then bacteria consume the human waste, food waste, whatever waste is there in the water, that is consumed by the bacteria. So bacteria, they will consume the human waste, they will consume the food waste, they will consume soap, okay, and other unwanted matter. And then the suspended microbes, that is the bacteria, they will now settle at the bottom of the tank, okay. And now this is called the activated sludge, and water is removed from the top. After that, the water is removed. Now the activated sludge is about 97% water. The water is removed by sand drying beds or machines. Now what is the activated sludge? The activated sludge is nothing but 97% water, okay. Because bacteria, they were growing in the water. So when this bacteria settle down, water also will remain along with the bacteria. Even if the water is removed from the top, still some water will be there, okay. So definitely it is 97% water. The water is removed by sand drying beds or by machines, okay. So how is the water removed? It is removed with the help of sand drying beds or by machines. Dried sludge is used as manure, returning the organic matter and nutrients in the soil. Now the dried sludge, okay, after it is dried, that can be used as a manure, okay. Manure means it can be used for the plants so that they grow healthily, okay. Now this is the aerator, okay. Aerator means you can see how air is pumped, okay. This is the water and you can see how the air is pumped in the water, okay. So this is called the aerator. So once the air is pumped, it will allow the aerobic bacteria to grow, and this will further purify the water, okay. Then the treated water has a very low level of organic material and suspended matter, okay. Now treated water, the water that has been treated, it has a very low level of organic material, okay. That means it is purified, so nothing remains there, okay. It is discharged into a sea, river or ground. So it can easily be discharged into a sea because now you have treated the water. So water can easily be discharged into the sea, into the river or into the ground. So nature cleans it up further. Sometimes it may be necessary to disinfect water with chemicals like chlorine and ozone. Okay, so once it is discharged into the river or into the ground, the nature cleans it up. Okay, after the nature cleans it up, still there may be some amount of impurities. So if you want to treat them further, so what you can use chemicals like chlorine and ozone before releasing it into the distribution system. Okay, so chlorine and ozone, when you add it, it is called chlorination or ozonation of water, then it further cleans up the water. Chlorine is actually a non-metal. Okay, you get chlorine tablets. Okay, these chlorine tablets actually can be used to purify the water. Or ozone, it is a form of oxygen. Okay, so ozone also can be used. Now, so till here you had the different parts of the wastewater treatment plant or the whole process. So this can come in the exam. Okay, what are the different steps in the wastewater treatment? Okay, now we come to the next part, become an active citizen. Waste generation is a natural part of the human activity, but we can limit the type of waste and quantity of waste produced. Now, waste generation is what? It's a natural part of the human activity. When you are at home, definitely you will generate waste. So that is a natural part. Even if you are in office or hospitals, waste will definitely be generated. So it is a natural tendency or the natural part of a human activity. But what we can do is we can limit the type of waste and quantity of waste that is produced. That can be limited. Okay, so often we have been repelled by offensive smell. The sight of open drains is disgusting. Okay, so we can limit the type of waste and quantity of waste. That means we should try to generate less amount of waste as much as possible. Okay, and when you just walk on the road, you must have seen open drains. The smell of open drains is disgusting. The situation worsens in the rainy season when the drains start overflowing. Sometimes what happens, the drains, they start overflowing, isn't it? When you have floods, then there is horrible smell comes out from the roads. Okay, we have to wade through the mud pools on the roads. Okay, you have to wade through those drainy water. Okay, the water from the drains will come out and you have to walk through the water, okay, on the roads. Most unhygienic and unsanitary conditions prevail. Definitely, because drains are very, very dirty. You might have animal feces, human feces, okay, you might have plastic bags, okay, polythene, and oils, all those kind of things. So those you have to walk through. So definitely it is very, very unhygienic and unsanitary. So flies, mosquitoes and other insects breed in it. Definitely, isn't it? Wherever there is dirty conditions, you will find these animals, they will breed. You can be an enlightened citizen and approach the municipality or the Gram Panchayat. Okay, so if you are in the city, you should approach the municipality. If you are in a village, you should approach the Gram Panchayat. Insist that the open drains should be covered. No drain should be left open. So if you leave drain open that way, and you smell all those things, then those dirty molecules will go inside your body and you will be harmed. Okay, you might have fever, you might have any other diseases. So if the sewage of any particular house makes the neighborhood dirty, you should request them to be more considerate about others' health. Sometimes what happens, the neighbors, they are very, very dirty, isn't it? Suppose you are maintaining everything very clean and hygienic, but you will find that your next door neighbor is very dirty and littering on the roads, throwing garbage on the roads, allowing their pets to excrete on the roads. Okay, so you should go and stop them if you have seen all these things, because your neighborhood also has to be clean. Not necessary that only your house is clean and your neighborhood is dirty. That should not be the case. Okay, so we'll continue with the explanation in the next slides. Thank you.